Hello, dear fellow travelers. Welcome to Breath Journey. Let's take a moment, draw a deep breath, and release the tension from your shoulders. Today, we want to talk about something we often keep hidden, something that surfaces during those quiet, late-night conversations with ourselves. That is the invisible weight we carry on our shoulders. We, who have crossed the threshold of half a century and beyond, have built many things. We've accumulated careers, raised families, experienced soaring triumphs and deep losses. We have done all the things this world tells us. You must own these things to be happy. But have you ever sat in silence, perhaps at 3 in the morning, and wondered, I possess so much, yet why do I still feel a lack of true inner peace? That absence isn't material. It is the feeling of internal freedom. Many people think ownership is only about houses, assets, or souvenirs. But no, dear friends, the cage that confines us is far more sophisticated. It is made of the gold of attachment, and it is locked with the key of the fear of loss. We are speaking about the deepest aspect of ownership, the holding on to the people we love. Have you ever felt that way? Love starts out clear and fresh, yet over time, we build walls to try and keep the loved one just for ourselves. We call it protection or commitment. But hidden beneath that is the nameless expectation, the silent jealousy, and the ultimate fear of separation. Imagine this with us. When we tightly grasp something, we want to control it. Possessive love is the same. It creates an invisible binding thread. That thread is woven from the thoughts like, my happiness depends on your presence, or if you change, I won't be able to accept it, or if I lose you, everything will fall apart. That attachment, called Tañhā, craving, or asava, defilement, in the ancient teachings, is not great love. It is a transaction of emotion. We give attention and affection, and the price we expect in return is the guarantee from the other person that they will stay exactly as we want them to. This not only suffocates our loved ones, but it causes us pain when life inevitably follows the law of impermanence. When they need space, when they leave, or simply when they are different from our expectations, we feel hurt, we feel betrayed, instead of just the natural pain of grief. We have lived through more than half of our lives, and now is the most precious time to make the remainder of our journey as light as possible. The lesson today, in the focus of this ownership-free video series on Breath Journey, is how to love in the deepest, truest way without being bound by the shackles of possession. This is not a lesson in coldness or indifference. On the contrary, this is a lesson in unconditional compassion, Metta. Metta is a love that comes without a condition or a contract. It is the pure wish that we simply want you to be happy and at peace. We do not need to be the source of that happiness, and we do not need to be the beneficiary of it. One of our fellow travelers once shared a story about a loved one who had caused much misunderstanding. He said it took him decades to stop wanting the person to change, to apologize, to compensate him. Only when he truly let go of all those expectations and was left with one pure thought, we wish you find peace for yourself, even if we are not there to witness it. That is when he felt true freedom. That is liberation. We will dedicate the next 20 minutes to exploring the path to this love without an enemy. We will delve into the difference between emotional love and wise love, and we will share a story from the Buddhist scriptures to illustrate the power of this letting go. If you are tired of carrying the burden of possessive relationships, if you long for a freedom that cannot be taken away by anyone, then we invite you to continue this journey with Breath Journey. Let's explore ownership-free compassion together. We have collectively touched upon the golden cage of attachment in our relationships, haven't we? Now we must look directly at the truth. What truly makes those bars so strong? In the ancient teachings, there are two terms we often confuse, yet they lead to two completely different experiences of love. Those are attachment, Tañhā, asava, and compassion, Metta. Let's examine attachment. Attachment, also known as craving or clinging, is a very natural human reaction. It's what drives us to seek security, connection, and most importantly, validation of our self-worth through others. It is fundamentally dependent. When we love with attachment, we are subtly making a demand. We need you to feel whole. Our happiness is built upon your presence and your actions. This immediately creates a cycle of suffering. When we need something from another person, we instantly generate expectation and the need for control. Expectation is a sharp, double-edged sword. It cuts off the other person's freedom and simultaneously wounds us when they fail to meet it. Have you ever experienced that deep disappointment, almost a sense of betrayal when a loved one didn't follow the script you had silently written for them? That feeling, that is not the pain of pure love, but the pain of the failure of ownership. Now let's set attachment aside and contemplate compassion, metta. Metta is not a fiery, fleeting emotion. It is a steadfast state of mind, a firm aspiration. It is liberation. When we practice metta, we are saying something entirely different. We wish you happiness and peace. Your well-being is our joy, even if we are not a part of it. Imagine you are holding a valuable item. If it is attachment, you will clutch it so tightly that it becomes damaged, out of fear of it being taken. If it is metta, you will gently cherish it, then smile and allow it to shine freely in its own way. There is no holding, no demanding. Many of our older fellow travelers share that it was only when they truly let go of the need to control their children's lives, career choices, or partners that they experienced complete, genuine love. They stopped being the overseer. They became the blesser. To solidify this distinction, let's look at the biological aspect. When our minds are dominated by attachment, the fear of loss, jealousy, our bodies constantly activate the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode. Stress hormones like cortisol flood our system, pushing us into a state of chronic vigilance and tension. The relationship, therefore, becomes a source of anxiety. Conversely, when we shift into the state of metta, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Peace spreads. Studies have shown that cultivating compassion helps release neurotransmitters that foster a deep sense of safety and secure connection, such as oxytocin. The beautiful paradox is that we feel this secure connection without needing to hold on to the object of connection. Compassion is the ability to love with wisdom rather than with emotional reaction. Wisdom allows us to clearly see that every being, every moment, is impermanent and ownerless. We cannot hold on to springtime, but we can enjoy its beauty in the present moment. If you are tired of the unending troubles of possessive love, perhaps it is time for us to learn to love with wisdom. That is the path to unshakable peace. We have clearly seen the difference between attachment, Tañhā, love that comes with conditions, and compassion, Metta, unconditional, enemy-free love. But how do we transition away from the habit of clinging that has been so deeply ingrained in our minds for decades? The key lies in an action that seems simple, yet is incredibly revolutionary: granting each other freedom. Remember those moments when we felt the urge to intervene in the lives of our loved ones. It could be a child's career choice, a spouse's spending habits, or even a friend adopting a different lifestyle. The moment that urge to interfere arises, recognize it. That is attachment speaking, not compassion. Attachment says, they must do things our way so that we can feel secure and happy. Compassion whispers, they are an independent being. We bless their choices. This is not abandoning the relationship. This is an upgrade to the relationship. When we give others the freedom to be truly themselves, they feel more respected and loved than ever before. And the miraculous thing is, we ourselves are simultaneously freed from the burden of having to be responsible for someone else's happiness. A fellow traveler in our meditation courses once shared a very relatable story. He had spent most of his life controlling his son's business, believing his own experience was supreme. When his son finally decided to close the company and pursue art, the father was devastated. But in that devastation, he practiced letting go. He told his son, not with grudging words, but with his whole heart, I only wish for your happiness. Whatever you do, this love will not change. You don't have to prove anything to me anymore. And in that very moment, the rope of tension between father and son snapped. He said it was the first time he felt pure love for his son, a love that did not come with a balance sheet of profits and losses or a list of obligations. To illustrate the power of this letting go, let us look at a story from the Buddhist scriptures, one that is very close to life. When the Buddha, after his enlightenment, went forth to teach, he never tried to hold on to any of his disciples. On one occasion, a deeply devoted father came to ask the Buddha to accept his only son into the Sangha, the monastic community. A few years later, that son decided to leave the Sangha, abandoning the monastic life to return to the world. The father was heartbroken and came to the Buddha begging him to intervene. The Buddha simply and gently said, "The Tathagata, the Enlightened One, does not hold on to. If the son wishes to leave, that is his freedom. The truth, the Dharma, is strong enough on its own. We do not need to use force or attachment to coerce anyone to stay." The father, initially disappointed, later realized a profound truth. True love is not a prison, it is a door opening to freedom. If the Buddha's teaching was real, it would remain in the son's heart no matter where he went. I want you to ask yourself this: are you willing to love someone so much that you accept they may never need you in the way you want them to again? We often think that holding on is an expression of love, but in reality, relinquishing control is the greatest expression of compassion. When we let go, we do not lose the love. We eliminate the suffering that is attached to that love. This is a courageous act because letting go of control requires us to face our primal fears, the fear of loneliness and the fear of no longer being relevant. But remember what we discussed in the previous section. When we release attachment, we activate the nervous system that brings peace. The freedom of others will become our own inner calm. We, who are traveling on Breath Journey, let us begin this practice today. Whenever you feel the urge to control an action of a loved one, take 3 deep breaths and silently affirm, "I bless you, be free." This is the first step in transforming love into compassion. We have shared a profound journey of discovery into the nature of love and ownership. We have distinguished between attachment, Tañhā, love that comes with anxiety, and compassion, Metta, love liberated from the chains of clinging. We have seen that granting freedom to others is the most courageous and loving act. So the final question for us, who have accumulated much life experience, is, what is the ultimate benefit of ownership-free compassion? The answer is not merely that others are free, the answer is far deeper. We are free. Ponder this for a moment. When we let go of the need to control our children, we release the burden of disappointment when they stumble. When we let go of clinging to our partners, we free ourselves from the weight of jealousy and the fear of the future. We cease to be the gatekeepers of happiness. We become witnesses of life. Ownership-free compassion is ultimately a gift we give ourselves. It is inner liberation, a state of mind that is no longer swayed by external changes. It is a peace that no one can take away because it does not depend on the actions or presence of anyone else. Many of us at this stage of life begin to think about the legacy we leave behind. Is that legacy money and property? Or is the true legacy the way we have loved? If we love with attachment, our legacy may be the expectations and guilt our descendants carry. But if we love with compassion, the legacy we leave is freedom, inner peace, and a priceless lesson. Loving is not about binding, but about expanding. Let us try to put this into practice in a quiet moment. We invite you to imagine this. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, think of the person you love most deeply, the one you still hold on to with a small expectation. Now gently relax the hand of your mind. Picture that person completely free. They can go anywhere, do anything. And your love, instead of shrinking with fear, expands, becoming a pure, unconditional blessing. Feel the difference. In that moment, you have not lost love. You have purified it. You have transformed it into something invulnerable, the mind of compassion. This transformation is not just philosophy, it is a deep spiritual practice. Buddhism teaches us that as the mind of compassion develops, we begin to see the non-self and not a nature of all things clearly. We realize that we are not the owner of anything, not this body, not these emotions, and certainly not our loved ones. When we see non-self clearly, ownership dissolves. So fellow travelers on Breath Journey, what is your next step? We don't need to change the whole world immediately. We only need to change the way we love in a single moment. We encourage you to practice this tomorrow in a small interaction. Acknowledge. Whenever you feel a small desire to control or a minor disappointment arise, acknowledge it. Ah, that is attachment speaking. Release. Take a deep breath and gently release that holding. Replace with compassion. Silently say or send forth a pure thought. We only wish you well-being and happiness. Let us transform our love into a source of light, not a chain. Let our legacy be the peace we have found and shared. This legacy will live on in the freedom we grant one another. We thank you for sharing this profound journey with us on Breath Journey. Ownership-free love is not the destination, it is the path. May you and your loved ones always be well and free. If you found this sharing meaningful, please hit the like button and share it with those you think need to let go of an invisible burden. And don't forget to subscribe to the Breath Journey channel so we can continue our path together in the search for inner peace. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.